In what ways is HTML5 important for the future of publishing?
Well, what we've seen in the past several years is a lot of the ebook standards like epub 3 are based on HTML5 and CSS and other standards coming out of the World Wide Web Consortium. And in many ways that's a continuation of what's happened for decades already. The web is a publishing medium, and one of the places that people publish their content is on the World Wide Web. And now we see that the same technologies which used to exist just for publishing on the web are existing for publishing everywhere.
And what makes HTML5 a better option for publishers than other formats like Mobi or EPUB?
So I don't really view it as an either-or. I don't think that HTML5 is like a replacement for EPUB in any sense of the word. HTML5 is the core markup available on the web, and it's used by many different industries.
Right.
And you could view EPUB as a specialization of HTML for the publishing community.
Okay.
So one of the things that we're very focused on, and actually earlier this week with the generous hosting of O'Reilly, we had a workshop to look at how do we get the two communities closer together. How do we make sure that the use cases that are important to publishers are built into the core markup language, which would make EPUB and other extensions so much better and so much easier to develop.
Right. And in that same line, what are some of the standardization issues, the bigger standardization issues facing publishers, and how are they best addressed?
So a great example of that, one of the W3C technologies that EPUB is based on is CSS. CSS is a W3C spec. It focuses on styling. And styling for the web, for web content, traditionally has been less capable from the professional styling that you would do in a magazine, for example, where you have a lot of interesting ways to have the text overlay with images and things like that. We're at a point that technology can give you that general styling capability as a natural format on the web. And by having a better conversation between these communities, it will allow us to have better standards built into HTML, so that way publishing specific standards like EPUB would be able to have far greater capability.
Right. Is there more of an appreciation for those standards than there was 5 years ago?
I think standardization is recognized as essential for web technology. HTML5 is the next generation markup is bringing high capability multimedia, rich multimedia to the web. It's also a point in time where this rich multimedia web is running across a wide range of devices. It's no longer just the desktop and the laptop. It's not even just the mobile phone anymore. You have ebooks, you have tablets, you have automobiles are starting to put the web technology into the car. You can't possibly have a rich web operating on such a wide diversity of devices unless you have standards. And it's that simultaneous rich multimedia and a web of devices which is driving everyone to a world of standards.
Okay. And for my last question, what is the Open Web Platform and how is it important for publishers?
So we've been talking about the Open Web Platform. So basically, the way that work goes on in W3C is it goes on in individual working groups. HTML is where we're doing the markup. CSS for styling. SVG, scalable vector graphics, for graphics. Device APIs is done in the DAP working group. There are literally about 50 or so working groups and many, many specs which together make this rich multimedia web that we're developing. And we use the term Open Web Platform as the umbrella term to refer to the collection of specs which is bringing us to the next generation.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for talking with me today.
It was my pleasure. Thank you, Jen.